it goes on and on. But listen, 2020, if you missed it, in July of 2020, ESPN, which is now Netflix, shot a documentary called The Last Dance, highlighted the dynasty of the Chicago Bulls, and you actually got a depiction of what Michael Jordan did in terms of just work ethic, in terms of building his brand, and in some ways being the legend that he is. Now, shortly thereafter, maybe a month or so after that, No Limit Chronicles, my boy Master P, both of which got it out the mud. And I tell people all the time, man, when you ever want to see a depiction of what hard work and dedication, persistence, and just an overall willingness and grind to get to that next level and to do what you know needs to be done, what it looks like, they showed you that. So I was telling somebody last week, yo, if you missed it, you missed it. The Last Dance, which aired in July 2020, and my boy Master P, No Limit Chronicles, you really saw the hustle, the grind, and really come up of not only No Limit, but just everything in terms of who he is, where they are, and why they are who they are. And yo, so I say it once, I say it again, if you missed it, you missed it. So that's one of the highlights I want in some ways bring out of 2020 as we reflect and look back, not dwell on, but in some ways highlight a few things that happened. KK, give me some gems, give me some insight. What were some of the things that you could actually look at or talk about as we reflect on 2020, but most importantly, look at where we are now and heading into the future?
Hey, definitely. 2020 was a year where we had to rethink everything that we were doing, from grocery shopping. You know, we were no longer just heavily depending on actually going to the grocery store. Things like Instacart became more popular. Even from just online shopping in general, you know, Christmas shopping. More Christmas shopping was done via Amazon than, you know, prior years before. It was definitely a year that you had to be innovative. When it comes down to, you know, working moms, as well as moms with children. You know, they had to become school teachers as well as work from home. From a business perspective, you know, meetings are no longer taken in place. Now, Zoom meetings are, you know, very popular as well as the norm. So it was a year that you just had to continue to do what you needed to do, but in a more innovative way. Home became our sanctuaries. I know before the pandemic started, like I was hardly ever at home. I just slept at home and that's about it. I was out here in these streets, right? But now I had to like make home a place that I wanted to be 24/7. Not that I really wanted to be there, but I had no other choice. And I think when you are forced with some of the resources that you have, considering everything that's going on, it makes you more innovative. It makes you a better professional. It makes you be a person who is more creative overall. So it was definitely just a year to just rethink, re-innovate, and grow as a whole, I definitely think.
Yeah, man. But look, I'm gonna say it like this: Zoom, I appreciate, but I definitely have cabin fever, as I've said it once before. And I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Like, let's be real about it. Like, okay, I see y'all with y'all tops on, right? But what y'all really got on the bottom in some way? Y'all PJs. Right, exactly. See, yeah, I know. See
Definitely.
Exactly. Don't fake it. They definitely don't fake it.
Right. Definitely in my business meetings, I have a blazer on top, Nike flip-flops on the bottom all day long. So
my PJs have got so much love at the bottom, they don't make no sense. I mean, I look good at dressed to impress.
Hey, there's no shame in the comfort game.
Okay.
It's all comfort game, straight up. And yo, speaking of technology, media, that creative space, Christiana, you've been doing your thing for a minute. I appreciate you checking in with us. In this world of film, like I said, man, content creation and all the different things that are happening right now, you've been on the grind and certainly in some ways on the move. So let's talk about what you got going on in terms of your production, movie / documentary, TV, all that good stuff. What's been happening? Give us some insight.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. So as we all know, pretty much every industry got shut down back last year, you know, around the March time. And though the film industry was on a halt for a couple of months, we bounced back pretty quick, you know. Our industry is now booming. We've got a lot of things going on. We are creating probably more content right now than we were about this time last year. So there's a lot of moving parts with us to make sure we keep going by also keeping our crews safe. But you know, we are working hard, we're hustling, and we're making things happen.
So look, when you tap into that industry, and I always have been intrigued with that creative space, especially within the media, or in this case, production, and all aspects of just basically getting your foot in the door. Is school or the traditional route still the route to take for anybody who's looking to get in or to tap into that whole creative space of potential, radio, or in this case, movies, TV production, all that the visual aspect of what we look at as far as streaming or just day-to-day stuff in terms of just visual itself. Is school still the route to take, or are you looking from a traditional standpoint, or is the new age approach it's all about connection, it's all about growth, it's all about who you know, and just pretty much getting your foot in the door?
In this industry, there's not just one route to get in, right? There's so many opportunities to break in this industry. Personally, I do believe that there should be some sense of educational background, whether that's you going to film school or you just going online and you looking up our industry, what we have to offer in terms of roles, as well as what those roles mean, what you do on set, and even dive into hands-on learning with yourself through YouTube, or even folks in the industry that you may have connections with. But if you don't have those connections, like I myself did not, I come from the Midwest, from a school where people really just did broadcast work. So personally for me, I use LinkedIn. Now, this was about 5 or 6 years ago when LinkedIn wasn't like the industry nuisance as some see it as today. But I would look at people that I admired. I would watch the credits. I would see who was doing what. I would look at other work that they had, and I would truly reach out to them. And to be honest, I got a lot of responses. So that's how I personally broke out into the industry. But as I'm sure everyone's heard, connections are key in this industry. Now, with that said, you also have to have a good work ethic. So you got to know yourself, and you got to know if working 12 to 15 plus hour days on set is something that you're up for, because that's what we do.
Okay, and of course, location. Everybody talks about, location is key. We're looking at the type of, cities or markets that you will probably be more, or you in some ways benefit from. If you were to take that route in terms of trying to get into the industry, trying to get your foot in the door, what are some of the hot spots that you will say, if you had in some ways pinpoint or looking at, where the business is going as well as growing? What will be some of the hot spots that you would kind of pinpoint and talk about in terms of where to go and where they are, where the work is mostly being handed off to?
Absolutely. Well, as we all know, LA is a booming spot. A lot of the major studios are based in LA, but I've got to say, Atlanta is moving on up. That's where the growth is happening right now. So many productions are happening in Atlanta. Not only television series are being shot there, films are being shot there, corporate videos are shot there, music videos are shot there. Any type of content that you might want to jump into, dive into, it's being shot in Atlanta.
Yeah, the new Mecca, no doubt. So if you had to, were there any unknown spots? I mean, because one thing about the industry itself could be a bit at times oversaturated, could in some ways crabbed in a barrel. But what hidden spots or small markets you think will give some people not only an advantage, but most importantly, an opportunity to kind of tap into it and sort of get their feet wet?
Absolutely. So some spots that most people don't talk about, but are actually like up and growing, and they're doing some good things. Albuquerque, New Mexico, they're pretty good for films right now. They're doing some things out there that I'm excited about. North Carolina is also getting their feet wet as well. They've got some good things going on there, and Miami, they've got some things as well. So pretty much, there's a lot of opportunities out there. You just gotta kind of dive, maybe even folks who are in a state where you don't hear film happening there often, see if there's a film commission there, to see if you can plug into, or check Facebook. There are a lot of film production groups on Facebook, depending on what area you're in, the major city within your state, because there are folks who are creative and they're passionate about making things happen, and they'll make it happen. So I would suggest connecting with folks, even on Facebook groups, or reaching out just to see what's happening in your state.
Now, earlier I talked about our reference, I should say, the impact that Master P and people like Master P and Michael Jordan had, of course, with their documentaries, if anything, that I referenced or talked about from last summer. Now, who were some people that you would probably pinpoint to look at, or maybe even idolize, in terms of, you having that inspiration and just overall just passion, helping you to maybe even validate and pursue that? Who name some people or a person in the film industry that you really look at as being a model?
That's a great question. I come from a place where I thought I had to rely so much on the industry or one person to really get me to where I wanted to go, to make me who I wanted to be in this industry, and to really just like catapult me into my purpose and what I believe I'm capable of. And you know what? Will Packer, I know a few of you, a lot of you may know that name, but Will Packer is someone I truly admire in this industry. He's not only started from the bottom, but he's utilized his contacts. He's utilized the space that he was in when he started to really catapult himself. You know, he believed in himself. He knew what he was capable of and what he wanted to do in this industry, what he wanted to see in this industry that he wasn't seeing. And he pushed himself to be where he is today. So Will Packer, I gotta give a shout out to Will.
Yeah, man, shout out to the big homie Will Packer, man, my frat brother as well. This Black History moment, this time and space that we're reflecting and moving forward in 2021 and beyond. KK, any tidbits of information, inspiration you got, man, to share with us to kind of just keep the ball rolling as we continue to dive into the third month of this year, closing out Black History Month. But yo, every day is Black History. Give us the stuff, information, news, anything you want to share with us real quick.
Absolutely. Every day is Black History Month, Black History Day. But I just really want to encourage everyone that's listening that, you know, let's not reflect on just what we've gone through in our past. Like, yes, we know that we may have gone through a lot of things that may have been hard for us to progress then. But today's a new day. It's 2021, and there are opportunities out there. So I encourage everyone to just know what you want to do, make a plan, and go for it. Network with people, really be prepared as different opportunities come your way, because there's nothing that can stop you but you. So just be encouraged and, you know, leave a legacy for, you know, the next generations to come. So whatever your dream is, go for it, and let's continue to make Black history.
Music, interviews, podcasts, and so much more. John Louis Radio, next level.